I wanted to start by saying, as a person that's not from Chicago, one of the first things that I've noticed when I came to Chicago was how Chicagoans embrace architecture and are very proud of the architecture that they have. And what I wanted to do is, without getting into a lot of the specifics of a building that I thought would be appropriate to talk about tonight, and give you some of the things that architects today don't really share with the public, or at least don't have the opportunities to share with not only co-designers or individuals that just like architecture and like design. Chicago, birthplace of a high-rise, has actually influenced quite a lot through innovation, starting with the elevator and how the elevator enabled us to live vertically and place ourselves in areas that we typically would not encourage in terms of urban sprawl or spreading out of an urban center. This project is an interesting project because it's a team of individuals here in Chicago who built in Dubai, and we built this project that, just ironically enough, is in the Architects magazine this month, and it's a project that ended up generating itself in a gesture that it wasn't superfluous, or it wasn't a gesture that came out of just twisting a building, but it had purpose, and it has purpose in how to increase value to the residents who live there. The criteria require that the building be responsible, environmentally responsible, but at the same time place itself in a context where its neighbors could not get their views obstructed. Other towers surrounding the marina needed to still see the Gulf, the Arabian Gulf, as well as the city proper. What we wanted to do is increase the value as you increased height, so we hence rotated each floor 1 degree, just 1.2 degrees, almost doing a true 90-degree rotation at about 88 floors. And the complexities behind these buildings and the feats we do with these buildings at times are hidden, or we never really realize what it takes to do an architecture of this scale, as well as ambitious in things that at times we don't do here in the market, like here in the US. And Dubai, as one place, enables us to do these things, and it actually encourages architects and designers to actually break the norm of how we approach the economics of construction. What you're seeing are some of the images, in-progress images, of when the building was being erected. There's as I mentioned, the way we, or the ethos of how we think as architects today, are trying to be responsible with the environment for the future generations. And we try very much to work around passive, sustainable principles that have been tested over time, not necessarily anchoring ourselves in areas that are based on technology alone, because today, as one of our previous speakers made very clearly, I believe it was about change and how change accelerates and keeps fucking accelerating, right? Well, all those things are very much true in a reality in the profession of architecture. We are not always able to do what we like to do within the profession, and in places like Dubai, places like what we at times, or a market that's upcoming, there's always this heroic way of trying to have the world embrace them or come to them. And Dubai was really one of the places that enabled us to make these gestures, or at least build a building that's still environmentally responsible, still using principles that are tested over time in a way that enables us to build a building that still is of the 21st century. What we are very much about is creating economically, but creating a long-term value to our clients. And in how we do our design work is very much based on a strong process. And that process is the art of the science of what we do as practicing architects and engineers. High-performance design is a very important part of the ethos of how we gel our different talent groups within our firm. So you're seeing, images of the building being erected or the building being built. And unfortunately, with the limited time, I'm only giving you selected images, but there's a lot of hidden intricacies in the building that not many people, when they first look at it, understand what's involved in simplifying the complex, making things seem as one clean gesture, as you saw in the first image of a twist. But behind that twist, how does the building function? How do we still deal with the parametric of a building that's in one side leaning and the other side pushing, and how structurally you're able to keep a building in torsion, in the twist that wants to untwist. So it's quite complicated, and it's heroically able to actually define a skyline, as we've been quite successful in doing in this building. It literally just topped off a few months ago, and it's became an iconic building quite quickly. And it's actually quite, I didn't have the slide here, but there's some, in YouTube, there's some, you know, rapper doing a video. I don't know who the rapper is. I'm not into rapping. But anyway, I mean, there's this rapper doing a video in front of the twisting building in Dubai. So there you go. Titanium, composite titanium panelization, unitized, the same unitization is repeated around the building with the exception of the corners, because it's the only column that actually leans. It's the only column that actually is atypical to the whole intricacy of bringing the metrics of an architecture in the building that's now the world's tallest true twisting building in the world. It's out of Chicago. So it's a great thing, you know. And there you go, the final slide. And that's not Photoshop, that's real, guys. So anyhow, thank you.